Dorit Kemsley is done being a pushover as she teases a very different Dorit in season 14. Dorit Kemsley has endured plenty over the past few years, but entered season 14 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as a new woman. The mom of two confessed that viewers will see a very different side of her when the popular series returns. It will be interesting to see how viewers react to the new Dorit, who's now embroiled in a feud with her former close friend Kyle Richards. However, Kyle isn't the only cast member butting heads with the fashionista. It seems most of the drama is centered around her. So much so that she's been dubbed the season's villain, and it seems the newly single 48-year-old is leaning into that. During a recent interview, Dorit confessed that she went into filing with a new mindset and was done with people taking her kindness for weakness. RHOB season 14 viewers will see a very different Dorit. Dorit opened up to RHONY alum Dorinda Medley during an interview with Us Weekly. That RHOBA star has been a topic of conversation as the season 14 trailer featured an altercation with Kyle. Dorit teased much more than that, noting that she had lost her voice and confidence after her 2021 home invasion, but started to feel more like herself before filming season 14. "Going into the season, I was over it," exclaimed the Beverly Beach founder, referencing her marriage and friendships. "I was over those who think they can walk all over you at your weakest." The Bravo star said she felt very confident, very strong, very firm, and I wasn't taking ***. Definitely going to see a very different Dorit to who you've seen in the last few years, for sure, she added. Dorit Kemsley teases thrilling, exciting season. During her chat with Dorinda, that RHOBA star reasoned that the altercations with cast members were warranted, adding that she doesn't enjoy having issues with her co-stars. However, Dorit said she was done with people taking her kindness for weakness and needed to stand her ground. She didn't name anyone or share details about what happened during filming. Dorit hinted that she had to put a few people in their places, adding, "You need to remind people that no, I'm not a pushover, no, I'm not accepting of this. You have to almost overcompensate because you're dealing with, unfortunately, people that will take advantage of when they can," she continued. "It's going to be a very thrilling, exciting season for sure." In the lead-up to The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 14, the buzz about Dorit Kemsley's bold new attitude has been nearly impossible to ignore. After years of often feeling dismissed or overlooked by her castmates, Dorit has hinted she's ready to shed her old skin and reintroduce herself to the world, and she's doing it on her own terms. "I'm done being a pushover," she said, her eyes flashing with conviction in a recent interview with Bravo Insider. The old Dorit, the one who was always trying to keep the peace, to make everyone comfortable, that's not who you're going to see this season. Season 14 opens with Dorit in a different light. Gone is the somewhat demure woman trying to dodge conflicts and patch up other people's relationships. Instead, we find her strutting into events with an almost palpable edge, her confidence sharper, her voice louder, and her demeanor unapologetic. Dorit's breaking point. It all began with what insiders are calling her breaking point at last season's finale. During the reunion, Dorit's attempts to bring a level-headed perspective were met with dismissive comments and sidelong glances. She realized once and for all that her peacekeeping was often mistaken for weakness, and it was time to take back control. She admitted that watching herself back on the show had become a difficult process. "I'd watch these moments and think, why didn't I speak up? Why did I let that slide?" she confessed. "It felt like every time I bit my tongue, I was chipping away at who I really was." With that wake-up call, Dorit took a hard look at herself over the summer break. A new coach. A mindset shift. For once, she put her own voice above the approval of her castmates. A shift in dynamics. Season 14's early episodes capture the ripple effect of this transformation. Her longtime friends and frenemies alike can't help but notice that Dorit isn't letting things go like she used to. "I didn't want to be rude, but I couldn't ignore it," shared Garcelle Beauvais. "She was just different. I didn't know if she was upset with someone specifically, or if this was just Dorit's new energy." This change, however, is most noticeable in her dynamic with Kyle Richards. The two had been friends for years, and Kyle had often assumed a subtle superiority over Dorit, usually pulling her back from conflicts, even chastising her in private. But season 14's different Dorit is quick to challenge Kyle, pushing back on the unspoken hierarchy. During one particular cast dinner, a heated exchange erupted when Dorit felt Kyle was being patronizing. Rather than shrugging it off as usual, she addressed it head-on, turning to Kyle and saying, "I'm not here for your approval anymore, Kyle. If you don't like it, that's on you." The table went silent as Dorit's words hung in the air. The reactions varied. Erica Jane smirked in satisfaction, while Sutton Strack's eyes went wide with a mix of disbelief and intrigue. Kyle, visibly taken aback, looked around the table as if to gauge whether anyone would step in. No one did. A confrontation with Erica Jane. Dorit's newfound assertiveness doesn't stop with Kyle. Erica Jane, long considered one of the most intimidating members of the cast, finds herself toe-to-toe with Dorit in an episode later in the season. In the past, Erica's brashness would often cow Dorit into silence, leaving Erica with the final word. But this season, Dorit challenges her head-on. During a heated discussion about loyalty and double standards in the group, Erica makes a veiled jab, accusing Dorit of playing both sides to maintain peace. Normally, this would have sent Dorit retreating, but this time, she refuses to back down. "If there's a double standard, Erica, it's because you keep expecting everyone to cater to your problems while ignoring everyone else's," she snaps, her voice unwavering. Erica's response is a raised eyebrow and a cold smirk, but this only seems to fuel Dorit's fire. "I used to hold back around you," Dorit admits in a confessional after the argument, "because I thought if I said what I really thought, it would burn a bridge. But at this point, I'd rather risk losing fake friends than keep lying to myself." The reactions, some surprised, others thrilled. While her bold new approach leaves some castmates uneasy, it earns her respect in unexpected places. Sutton, who's often been the target of confrontation from other housewives, finds herself surprisingly supportive of Dorit's evolution. "I didn't always agree with Dorit in the past," Sutton says in a confessional. "But this new version of her? I love it. She's standing up for herself, and I think she's long overdue for it." Meanwhile, Lisa Rinna, always one to poke the bear, can't resist testing the limits of Dorit's transformation. "I'm curious how far she'll take it," she quips with a mischievous grin. In one instance, she tries pushing Dorit, with passive-aggressive digs about her marriage, but Dorit surprises her with a sharp retort. "Worry about your own backyard, Lisa. I'm sure there's enough going on there without you needing to look over here." It's not that Dorit has transformed into a confrontational powerhouse, but rather that she's finally comfortable drawing boundaries and asserting her own voice. When questioned about it, she explains, "I'm not looking to fight with people. I'm just no longer willing to be overlooked." A season of transformation. As the season progresses, Dorit's shift permeates nearly every corner of her life, both personal and professional. She steps up in her role as a mother, becoming more vocal about wanting her children to understand the value of self-respect. Her marriage, too, seems to reflect this change. There's a renewed sense of equality in her dynamic with PK, as she becomes more decisive and assertive in their shared decisions. But beyond these personal revelations, it's the public reaction that truly takes her by surprise. Fans who once dismissed her as an inconsequential figure in the cast now rally behind her in a way she's never experienced. Social media buzzes with support for Dorit's transformation, and she becomes a surprising fan favorite for her authenticity and assertiveness. "I can't believe it took me so long to find this part of myself," she says in a confessional during one of the season's final episodes. "For so many years I was trying to be what I thought everyone wanted. But now I'm exactly who I want to be." As season 14 comes to a close, Dorit Kemsley leaves an indelible mark on the RHOBA landscape. She's no longer the pushover, the peacekeeper, or the quiet voice in the background. She's front and center, embracing the mess and the magic of her own truth. And she's not going back.